Have you ever been to Skull Island? The one from 2017 is the one we're talking about. Did you know that that whole island was only about 60 miles by 40? Which, by the way, would be a perfect fit for the YouTube format if we could find a decent map. Maybe my Googling skills are slipping, but there's nothing very detailed that I can find. Anyhow, no big deal, it's just for the intro. The landmass isn't huge, but it has varied biomes and a fairly complex food chain. You've got your top predators. Long ago, those were the apes, with skull crawlers in opposition. That leaves room for lake monsters and giant spiders. There's probably some other terrible stuff that we don't get to see. And don't forget those cows of unusual size. Who doesn't love the scare buffalo? It's the kind of island that you can send a high-level party off to for a few sessions of adventure without fear of getting bored. You could also tear it all down and rebuild it, adding quite a lot. Remove those mega beasts and throw in a city. There's room for island adventures of just about any type. Place something valuable to drive the industry, and your island is on the path to a permanent place among the great city-states of the world. This is what I would classify as a medium island, and that's exactly the sort of thing that we're talking about today. I'm Lewis Nichols, and this is World Building Essentials and Exercises. Guess what? We do world building here, and this is a big block from the set of blocks that you're going to use to create your new world. The medium island can play any number of roles in your game and your game world. Are you new to DMing? Start the party on one of these islands. Give them a few reasons to stay. You can write up a 10-session scenario in whatever vein you'd like to run. Maybe the party has to complete a task to appease the volcano god to prevent destruction. Perhaps the city has been taken over by a band of pirates and it must be liberated. You can dive into eco-gaming and politics on this one. It could just be a simple Tame the Wilderness adventure. Whatever it is, this island is big enough to host a campaign until you and your party are ready to move on. The island can also be a destination. There are any number of reasons that a higher level party might need to travel to it. Maybe the city is friendly, but it's known to harbor a powerful entity using the island's wilderness to harbor a secret base and build strength. A lich, a demon, a gang of do-gooder paladins. It could be whatever your game needs to oppose the party. Now, I keep saying city. You could just as easily make it an island fortress, or a series of fishing villages supported by a low-dev town. The point is, it's a bastion of civilization the party can use as a base. It's a place to play politics, or just a home for some of your always fun and interesting NPCs. Consider the party moving on to the island and immediately meeting resistance from the guardsmen on the docks. It's made clear they are not welcome. The encounter becomes heated, but before real violence erupts, another faction of town guard intervene and defuse the situation. At first, it's played up that most people in town feel like they can take care of their own problems. They don't need outsiders. There are some who just flat out believe that they are better off aligning with the evil forces inland. Over a session or two, the players have pretty well figured out who's on whose side. The party faces have gone to work in securing public opinion, but a few of the town elites are firmly in the camp of the bad guys and must be dealt with. Going full murder hobo on them might solve the biggest part of the problem, but it also might actually drive more of the city to align with the bad guys. It's just the beginning of a complex plot that you develop incorporating politics, hack and slash, roleplay, and economic adventure. Properly navigated, the party not only figures out the perils and defeats the bad guys, but nails down a permanent income stream with their newly forged business ties to the city. And always remember that proper is based on expectations. If the plan was always to be a murder hobo hack and slash game, that's the behavior that should be rewarded. The ultimate prize isn't an eco win, it's the chance to do more hoboing. I wonder if I've said murder enough to affect the algorithm yet. Oh well. Okay, enough with potential campaign arcs. Let's get back to the world building. What are some of the questions that we should ask and answer about our island? What's the climate like? Odds are your island is one major zone: tropical, subtropical, temperate, subarctic, or arctic. What is the rainfall like? What's the temperature range? Normal rainfall on Earth is about 40 inches. Zero's possible, so is 1,000 inches. There are places in the world that just get crazy amounts of rain. With the temperature, you might want to keep it normal, keep normal seasons, but you don't have to. You can do what you want to do with your world, and if you're starting fresh, this is the time to make crazy decisions. Remember, the first questions you ask are going to be the most impactful on your world. Remember, islands don't have much of a day-night differentiation, but if your landmass is a circular or square, maybe the inland will. That means you better draw a map, even if you just sketch it out on paper. Place some mountains, determine rain shadows, and decide if you have one or two rivers that can support more than a canoe. Place your settlements and other points of interest. Are there caves? D&D loves caves. So do other role-playing games. Do you have an Underdark, an Underneath, or any other kind of world-spanning cavern system? Can you get there from this island? What is the most valuable exports or potential exports? Is it unique foods, spices, minerals, timber, gems, animal hides, something else? There's always a possibility for creativity here. Is there volcanic activity on your island? Maybe it was formed by volcanoes. Maybe it'll be torn apart by volcanoes. If you're running a campaign where years can pass, plot out notable seismic events. Are there customs on the island that aren't normal elsewhere? There's that normal word again. It could be marriage customs, could be eating habits, religious rituals, educational standards, coming-of-age traditions, music. It could be anything. Is there a local government? If so, how does it work? What industries are lacking? What businesses are exceptional? These can be the small things that make the world seem lived in. Maybe the first day on the island, you get lots of people complimenting the players' scents. Locals keep telling them how good they smell. Come to find out, they lack quality scented soaps. Or it could be just the opposite. Is your PC the stinky kid? Could be the town has a family of exceptional jewelers. Maybe even producing some magical rings for a price. What gods do they worship, and what are the temples like? For that matter, what is the rest of the architecture like? If you're using the island for several sessions, come up with 6 things that you can say about it. Mix them into the background. Don't overdo the exposition. A lot of players are not into it. However, it just takes a few little quirks to enhance the experience for everybody. Play up to your party. If there is a guild thief in the group, they might notice local guild activity. Their respective thieves' cants might have a dialect conflict, but it's a starting point to feel each other out. This can be friendly or confrontational. Is there a bard? The locals will want them to perform. You might even get a bonding moment between the townie bards as they fuse their style into an impromptu performance. Or maybe the locals will be pissed at the attention that the new guy gets. Do a brief history. You don't have to tell the party everything, but you'll have it to inform other decisions. Come up with a unifying naming convention. Maybe almost everybody in the town has one of 5 last names, and limit the first names. Use lots of nicknames to make it simpler, but more confusing at the same time. Oh, no. You're thinking of Bo Midler at the tanner. It's Shorty Bo Midler at the granary that you need to see. That's not Shorty Shoemaker. The shoemakers control the textiles in town, you know. Bo and Tiny Shoemaker kind of run things in that business. Oh, that Tiny is a spark and a quirk. Shorty Midler. That's the one you need. Friends with Sparky Wallace and her brother, Tiny Rick. You can see how that can be confusing. He turns to one of his helpers. Hey, Ricky Tiny, why don't you just take these fine folks down there? You can help them sort it all out. What else can you do? If the party is going to be around for a while, build a counterculture for them to run into. Whatever aspect of the culture that you've been playing up, create a group of locals that just hate it. Create a few holidays. The party can arrive during the annual Sugarcane Festival, or whatever resource that you've chosen to play up. How about institutions? Aside from government, what civic entities have influence? It could be a veterans group, or something religious. You could make it a miners guild, or maybe the island has a wizard's school or librarians guild. As always, world building is a massive undertaking, but you don't have to do it all. Have 1,000 words ready for when your party makes landfall. Feed it to them slowly. Just hit what's relevant to gameplay. If the party is there for several sessions, you can post little tidbits on your playgroup's message board, or do handouts, letting the players that want to read your lore dump do so at their leisure. Don't hold it against them if they don't. Well now, my rambling has turned this into one of the longer videos that I've done in a while. Release is timed out so that I should be wishing you all happy holidays. So happy holidays! No matter what you might celebrate, or if you celebrate nothing at all, I wish you all the best. Thank you for stopping by, and have a great rest of the day, rest of the year, and a happy 2025. Cheers!